That's a
Oh,
good thing that was over.
Great timing.
All right. Let me see. Is it up? Starting. All right, we're live. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Trinity Squad podcast. This is our first episode. This is a welcome podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the Rainbow Six Siege team, the Smite team, and the Call of Duty team, and just talking about general things that we are going to be doing in the future, what events we're planning on going to, and whatnot. I am Trinity Moss, and we have a couple of people here with us today. You guys want to go ahead, just one at a time?
Wow, great fucking job, Christian.
Shut
Already
up.
fucking screwing it up.
oh God. Okay, who want to go first?
Hi, I'm the Lord Dobie. There.
Oh my God. Um, Hi, I'm Ijiro. I'm the founder of the organization.
I'm Downshift. I'm a Rainbow Six Siege player and recruiter and co-founder.
I'm Daddy. I'm a woman, but I'm Daddy, and I play Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I just said my gamer tag like I feel like an idiot.
I mean, that is my gamer tag, so.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So, do you guys want to start talking about? I guess we'll start off with Rainbow Six Siege because that's the one that we have kind of an idea of about what's going on.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Downshift and Daddy, you want to take that away, or?
So we're in the process of getting our team up together, and we only have 3 now, but we're looking for 2 more, and hopefully some extras for emergency cases. It's going well with 3. We're really just looking for people that are good enough and don't kill hog. What do you have to say, Daddy?
I feel like we're looking for kind of like serious players because there's a lot of people that go into pro league thinking that it's all fun and games, but it's not just about like having fun. It's also about the competition. So I think having that mindset going into it is important, I guess.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like, to be honest, like, because a lot of people that play the game think it's just to play around. But like my cousin, he's like one of those people that are competitive, and he gets pissed off at teammates for being stupid.
Yeah, and I understand that aspect of it. There's a lot of people, and especially like in example wise with me in the COD community, there's a lot of kids that'll just want to jump at the game. They're like, "Oh, I'm so good, I can do this," and then by the time they get to their first LAN event, they get destroyed, and then they just give up, you know. And
Yeah.
that's not the mindset that we're trying to have here. We're trying to be able to push through, work with our teams, be able to develop good chemistry, and just get everything working together for like when the times we do go to an event.
Exactly, and I
Yeah.
think a loss is just about it's a learning experience. I mean, I've played a couple of ESL tournaments and I've lost both of them, but because my team wasn't really working well, like you said, the chemistry thing, there wasn't chemistry there, so there weren't the proper call outs. There wasn't just nothing was uh like a team should be like glue, it just has a foundation and then everyone's working together and that's just really important. I think the teamwork and meshing well together is more important than winning or losing. I mean, like, obviously we want to win, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you have to have a good team to win. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
and
And
there's gonna be arguing and stuff. I understand that. Like with any team, there's gonna be if you're in game and you're playing anything for that matter. Like there's gonna be arguing and stuff. Like should we do this flank? For example, with Rainbow Six Siege, should we do this flank? Should we go this way? Should we go through middle? Should we do this, or this? And there's gonna be arguing. But at the end of the day, when you know, at the end of the day, when if you're still together and working together well as a team, it doesn't matter. There's going to be parts where people are going to start arguing and getting mad at each other and like, well, we lost that round. What could we have done better to win that next round?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you put
that
that really
teamwork.
well.
Yeah, like teamwork is like a big part of in teams and stuff. Like a lot of people don't get that because like certain people think just because you're good doesn't mean you get to run everything. Like you all have to work as a team, and it makes the whole team feel better and like play better.
Exactly, and there are people who are better getting frags. Like they'll get a lot of kills, but they won't work with the team. And then Rainbow Six is a team playing game. Like there are objectives. It's not just about getting kills, and I think that that's important to know too. Is like that's why it's the teamwork is everything. It doesn't matter how many kills you get because in the end you could lose that round and you could lose that match. You know, whether you got like 20 kills or not.
Yeah, because to be honest, the game is mostly about like you said teamwork and all that. And like I feel like um when that when people think that they get 20 kills or whatever, they automatically assume they're gonna win, but you never know. The other Another team could just turn the whole game around without even you noticing.
Exactly, and it could happen halfway through the game. Like, let's say you're 3-0ing a team, but they could literally come back and just you know shit all over you. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss in here, but like,
It's
Yeah,
it's
fuck it.
okay. It should be
okay,
fine.
It's fine.
It
like
should be fine.
they can just literally piss all over you, and then they'll take the win. And I feel like the cockiness too at the end, because everybody's like, "Oh, we're about to win," really gets to people sometimes, and then that just shifts your whole way of playing as a team, and it just is kind of sucks.
Yeah,
And the thing that I've noticed with like between casual players that play, because I play Rainbow Six Siege as well. I'll jump in the game and play with Downshift and Daddy at times. But the thing I've noticed is casual players will just go for kills and not worry about the objective, and that's a big problem. I mean, I understand it's a casual playing, but if it's ranked, and I've seen it happen in ranked before too, where you're in a ranked match and you're if you're going to be doing like a solo ranked match and you don't have a full team together and you have some of your teammates, your random teammates will just run around the map and just look for kills and not even focus on the objective. And that's a problem with Call of Duty as well, but still, you know, not focus on the objective is what will end up destroying you at the very end.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Like in any competitive game, you can't just be cocky or think like you're just gonna win. Because any competitive game, you have to work hard at it, and you have to have like a unity in the team.
And there has to be a good chemistry with your team. It doesn't matter because you'll see, for example, Optic Gaming, which is what the team that I pretty much watch all the time on COD. They've had times where, for example, there was a guy named Proofy, and Proofy was on the team during, I believe, Advanced Warfare, and he was hearing he overheard something about his teammates thinking about kicking him off the team. Well, he said, in he said to the leader Hex, he's the guy who's in charge of Optic Gaming. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to my family for a little while, and I should be back." But he never came back. And they had to find another sub to play in a big tournament because he did not show up because he already assumed they were just gonna kick him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is kind of like a fucked up thing, and I totally like. It happens to every like I've seen. You can see on any team. Every team has like that one weird kink like that just needs to be worked out. It's like we every team has it. I'm sure we have it. We'll find out what it is eventually. But for a lot of teams, and this goes for a lot of esports teams, I think it's like specificity. Like literally, you cannot 1v1 everything. You cannot 1v2 everything. You cannot 1v3 everything. It is impossible. And that's why, like, just this I guess genre of sports esports is just such a fun way because a lot of kids grow up playing video games, right? And it's fucking awesome that we have this genre that we can be in a competitive standpoint, but it's not always fun at games. And I can tell you that I've had my fair share of cursing out 4-year-olds over Xbox because they piss me off. I think we all have at one point, but it's totally understandable. So
Exactly.
And the other thing that I want to add to this is just like the fact that in the scene now of like amateur teams, it's really hard for amateur teams nowadays to make it into the scene because a couple years ago, those amateur teams were the kids that are all the pro teams now, like all um, was it Team Caliber, Optic Gaming, Splice. I can't name enough off the top of my head, but all of those teams started out, really young, and it's just gotten really, really hard to get in from an amateur team to get into a professional standpoint.
yeah,
And it's just been, there's some people have figured out loopholes on how to get in, but the problem is you have there's such a extreme, I think influx is the word. There's just an extreme influx of the amount of amateur teams that are out there, and they all say, "Hey, I'm gonna make it," blah blah blah, and they're gonna try. They say they're gonna try, but then they don't put in the work and they don't put in the effort to actually make it to where they want to get to.
yeah.
Exactly.
Um. So yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else to add to that, or like anything else to add to like the Rainbow Six Siege side of things? Like any problems, anything that could be worked on, teammates, anything like that?
I
Um,
don't think so.
Not that I can really think of.
Nope.
me either.
Not really issues yet.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that's the
still
thing.
have a lot of room to improve.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so lots of room to improve, and there's different things like that. I think we're gonna move on to our next topic, um, which our Smite captain for our Smite team, Dobie. You can take it
Yup.
away. What teammates you've picked up, what their roles are, and for anybody who doesn't really know what Smite is, could you just kind of explain it?
All right, you fucking morons, listen up. Smite is a MOBA, also known as a a multiplayer online battle arena, and what it is basically a 5v5 like League of Legends, but it is played in a third-person format and is based off of religions based throughout the entire world. Like you got Hinduism, you got Roman, Greek, Norse, and it's like I said, it's exactly like League, but it's got a third-person stand, so it feels a lot different than League. You aren't just clicking or however you play it. Um, but no, but we have some really good teammates. I actually really like this team I'm playing with because I've played with teams before, and it is just the most dreadful thing when you don't have like a connecting synergy, I guess. Because a lot of the people on our team, we all have that same personality, which I just absolutely love. We just picked up a guy last night. His name is Crux. He's a great guy. We all love him. He honestly just acts like us, and that which is perfect because if you don't have a guy that has like I don't want to say this is definite for all teams, but like if you don't have somebody who's like has that same personality as the other players on the team, like I just don't think it's going to work out as well. So like we picked up that guy, and after this, I'm actually going to go try out a new guy for our jungle spot. So if we get him, we have a full team for the summer split. So that's that.
Which is good because we would uh, our Smite team is the team that is is the furthest along in our line of esports right now, and the way it's turning out is going really good, and from what Dobie has said, it just seems to be that it's just moving along slowly, but we're getting to the point where we need to get to, and um, on top of the the synopsis or the summary that you gave, about Smite. Um, for those people that are like, well, okay, it's a game where you run around and you get objectives. How hard is it to work together with a team that you barely know? Or if you're playing with randoms, how hard is it to take down an objective, take down a tower, take down a phoenix?
How that can really depend, and I know it's kind of hard to explain, but it depends on the type of people you play with. If you play with a person, and please don't take this the wrong way, but if you play with a person who has a Call of Duty mindset, and I'm just using this example as
No, I understand.
I think Daddy
Yeah,
put it the
so
best way, just a fragger who just wants to get kills, then you're gonna lose every game because that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is actual teamwork. It's a lot like R6. Like if you don't have any teamwork, you will lose the game. Because I mean, there are buffs, there are damage buffs, mana buffs. Mana is like your MP5. You can use abilities, speed buff, just protection reduction, just everything. If you aren't communicative and you don't know how to just start, then you lose the game. And in this meta, I won't lie, this meta we're in right now is just the worst because it's a total snowball. So whoever gets like first blood, it's sort of over. But luckily, my team is just very intelligent, and I really enjoy playing with them. But if you're playing on a random standpoint and they have no idea what you're doing, this might sound bad, but you probably will lose unless they figure it out within the next 15 minutes of playing the game. So
Yeah, and that and that makes sense. I heard from actually heard from you that there was buffs, some new buffs added to the game, and nerfs. Buffs are basically just like trying to figure out what characters in the game to make a little bit better, like what to add to them, and nerfing is to what they can take away to even out the playing field.
yeah,
Um,
no but rather.
yeah, so I heard from you that there was a couple buffs that you weren't too terribly happy with.
It's just I don't think that the company that makes the game just they don't know how to do math, and so like they just do a lot of stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm still gonna play the game because I enjoy it in its entirety, but I'm hoping this season 5 when it comes up, it's just gonna be a whole lot better. There's just certain items that they nerf and buff that just kind of don't make any sense, and gods that they buff and nerf that just like once again just don't make any sense. This is slowly getting worse throughout season 3 and 4. Season 2 was pretty good in all honesty in season 1, but season 3 through 4, like they just released they make really weird gods, and yes, they make all these really weird changes that don't make sense, and it makes the game unfun. So season 5, they're making a whole new conquest map, which I'm really excited about because it's a whole new potential. It's still going to be a Greek style, but they're gonna have like a couple new buffs and everything, and I'm really excited for it to be honest. So
And the last thing I want to talk about is for the Smite at least. Um, you and your teammates' roles and what do they do? What is their role to help advance the game?
all right, well, I am I shot call the game. I'm the carry, which means I play the hunter role or an archer to help the younglings. And what they basically do is they just pop off and they basically carry the team if they can. Um, and, they just do massive damage. They usually have top damage, if not the mid laner who plays mage. The mid laner is a mage, or it can be a hunter, but it's most likely going to be a mage player. Um, there are certain gods in the game that will be, for example, mages that can play in the hunter role just because they have just a great kit for it, and vice versa if hunters playing in the mage role or anything like that. But as I was going back to it, mids they also have high damage because they're mages. They do high amount of damage. They have some of them have good CC, just depends. Um, some are very good, some are very bad. There's not really any in between. There are some, but there are some that are just you play them and you're gonna have a good time. You play this god, you're gonna have a bad time. The support role is where you play as guardians, and they are the most tanky characters on the battlefield. Um, some that you may know of are Ymir. I don't know if anybody actually knows that, but it's from Norse mythology. Uh, Friend of Loki. which is a popular Marvel character for some reason. I don't know why. But supports are the tanky ones. They will take the damage for you. They will die for you, and I love them to death. We have our jungler, who just, as you can tell from the name, sits in the jungle and gets the buffs and helps the teammates out, and will eventually gank every lane. Whether it's him in the mid ganking or whatever. The jungle is a very big part of the game. I think I'd like to think it's probably the most important role of the entire game, even though I think all 5 roles are equally important. If anything, I think that the jungle role is the most important part of the entire game, we, like I said, we played with the great jungle last night, but unfortunately his schedule can't meet, so he's playing sub. But he's a great player and he's a great guy, and he actually, like I said, he has great synergy with us. And the solo laner is the guy who is he's very tanky, but he can also dish out some damage. He won't have top damage, but he will definitely support the team. Now these include warriors, physical warriors. So it's very tanky role. They're going to be by themselves most of the game until later in the game when team fights start happening. And that's where we got Crux last night. And like I said, he's a very good player. Good player. I love him to death. But yeah, that's pretty much how the roles work.
And we're going to be furthering. What's the word I'm looking for? We're going to be. I can't think of the word right now, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's.
Spit it out.
We're gonna have another talk with hopefully the entire Smite team, when we get the chance in a couple of weeks, when everything is settled down and everybody's settled in, and kind of has an idea of what they're doing, and maybe we'll talk about scrims or something next time about the Smite team. So that leaves us to our last subject, which this is honestly going a little bit faster than I thought it was going to, but the Call of Duty team, which I will hopefully be talking about here. And I don't know if Aijiru, do you have anything to talk about to help me out with talking about the COD team at all?
Like competitive, right?
Like competitive, yeah. So from what I've been researching right now, we don't have the COD team pretty much at all, which does suck. It's really hard to find right now, at least for myself. It's hard to find players that are above 18 and have a pretty open schedule and are willing to play, you know, a couple hours every night, like 4 or 5 hours every night. But what I've been noticing with the pro teams, I've been trying to keep up with the pro teams. I've been noticing that they've been practicing on Call of Duty Ghosts to get ready for Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too.
Because that was probably the best choice with because it's boots on the ground, and they're getting ready to not have to deal with any more jetpacks or anything like that. The only thing I really have, because I played the beta, I played the Call of Duty World War II beta. The only thing that I really have to say that is kind of there's some stuff that needed fixing since the beta. The shotguns were way too powerful. If if they're gonna have I think there's gonna be a new role where they're going to, if they don't fix it by the time of release, there's going to be a new role added into the game. It's going to be objective and probably shotgun slayer, because the guys with the shotguns, literally they can hit you with one bullet, and if it's got the incendiary rounds on it, it'll kill you in one shot, and it's ridiculously overpowered. But on top of that, somebody else, I was watching another video, because I didn't get very far in the beta, and I found out that they made for shotguns, made a bullet that is a rifle casing inside of a shotgun shell, and you can snipe people with a shotgun, which is ridiculous.
That sounds absolutely dumb.
Oh, it's
Yeah, that
it's
sounds stupid.
terrible,
It really
and
sounds stupid.
it's gonna. I just
That's
think it's
essentially a slug round. I mean,
yeah, but it's like it was. when I was watching the footage, even after a little while, there would be a range drop. I think it was cross map. Somebody got a headshot cross map with one of these things, and it was one of the slightly larger maps in the game. So there's that. But right now I'm looking for uh, two Slayers and hopefully another objective player. And we're for the month of October, I'm gonna hopefully get or the last bit of September going into October. I want to hopefully get this team together and practicing on PS4 on Call of Duty Ghosts, so we can get ready for Call of Duty World War II. Because we're gonna be playing a lot of game battles, and that's the other thing is I wanted to talk about that. Um, for all the other teams as well, Smite and Rainbow Six Siege, uh, game battles slash UMG. I'm trying to figure out what when I can get you guys scrims and how I can help out with everybody getting scrims and whatnot. Um, so and that's how because I think eventually we want to get the Rainbow Six Siege team to play at I believe Gfinity. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
That'd be a question for Babe.
Yeah, Daddy, you have anything to say about that?
About which part?
About hopefully getting Rainbow Six Siege to like play at Gfinity.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
So yeah, and then the Smite team. I don't know what the Smite Pro League. I'm assuming.
Yeah, we just have to go through a challenge circuit, and then if we win the challenge circuit, we're in the pro league.
And then it's this kind of the same way with the Call of Duty. If we can just play wagers and eventually play money eights or something like that, and get that all together. I'm looking for a team of four guys. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be coaching or if I'm actually going to be competing. Um, because I know when if I know that I'm not going to be able to help out the team, I will coach instead of play, and that would be better because I've always been a behind the scenes type of guy. Like in high school, I did lighting through all of theater because I couldn't act. Yeah, that's kind of like a analogy, I guess, to that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I want to be able to get four players, two Slayers, two objective players for Call of Duty World War II when it comes out on PS4, and I'm trying to get players that are 18 years of age or older. Because I'm sorry, I cannot work with players that are under the age of 18 anymore. And on top of that, the Call of Duty World League will not accept anybody under the age of 18 to play. So that's just a big conflict for me. A big problem for me is and like we mentioned before in Rainbow Six Siege, how there will be players that don't take the game seriously or
That's
will kill steal and
that's the vast majority of the community, sadly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's sad. Yeah, it sadly is, and we as Trinity Squad we have come up with a pretty good team, honestly.
I
Um,
would say so.
this team is like
Yeah.
we all are trying to get shit done, for lack of better
Yeah.
words,
Absolutely, we have a common goal. That's the whole big thing.
and we all
Get
have the
the
Yeah.
minds,
moolah.
and we all have a mindset of taking this more like a job, taking this role as more of a job than a hobby, because
Yeah.
that's what I've seen with a couple of teams that I've been on. They don't really take it like like it's a job, like it's something they have to do. They take it as a hobby, and then nothing gets done. So,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. Alright, go ahead.
oh, sorry, no, I was just saying so.
um, I feel like if you just take it as a hobby, then you shouldn't be doing competitive. Like you can do ranked and things like that, or like in R6, or just play as you like. But I don't know. Like I feel like just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
if you want to take it as a hobby, just play it on Twitch or like stream it or something like that. But if you're wanting to take it more seriously, then this is what to do. You know, like ESL and whatnot. Like,
you
I just
just
feel like
try to get yourself out there. Try to make a name for yourself. Try and make a name for your team. You know, and that reminds me, this podcast is also brought to you guys by Insane Labs, our sponsor. If you guys use code Trinity at checkout on any purchase you get at Insane Labs, you will get 20% off all purchases. So that's just something I was reminded of.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm glad we
Also,
remembered it before this ended.
I know.
yeah. Also, I want to touch on something what Mass was saying about the the team becoming along very good. Like the reason why this is like my reason why I started the team was because I had a goal in like mind. I've been playing COD and I've been playing games since I was little, like I guess 10 or 11 you can say, and I always wanted a team that have the same mindset as me, like accomplish something like because as a little kid I always wanted to do like gaming as a job. Like yeah, it was a hobby, but also I wanted it as a job. And once I started seeing like YouTubers doing it, I was like I wanted to catch on that. And the way I wanted to make the team was like everybody had the same mindset, everyone had good chemistry, everyone knew like what to do and like what was the expectation.
Yeah, and I understand that. Because there's been so many teams in which people have not taken anything seriously, and I'm happy that I've joined this team. I've been through like 4 or 5 different teams, and all of them all had the mindset of let's take the team as a hobby, not as a job, not as an actual. I'm looking at this team as hey, this is an investment, and if I work hard at it now, it'll pay off in the future.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but to wrap things up on the Call of Duty side, I'm still looking for players. I don't have a whole lot of stuff together. There's just a lot from on my plate right now for getting some things done for the team and besides the esports thing. But I think that our main team, that our two main teams, are the Rainbow Six Siege team and the Smite team as of right now. Um, I do want to have another sit down podcast or another podcast with all of the Smite team, just so we can talk about what they what they see going on in the Smite Pro League and what they think could be changed and stuff like that. So I think you guys want to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thought it was good first.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching the Trinity or listening to the Trinity Squad Welcome podcast. Hopefully, in about maybe a week or 2 weeks, we will probably have another podcast, another live stream podcast up and running. So thanks for listening, and we will see you guys later.